What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. So today we're going to talk all about how CCIV acquired Lucid Motors. We'll have a brief look into what each of the companies actually do. We'll then talk about catalysts and also how this acquisition will affect the share price going forward. And finally, we're also going to look at how the stock market has plummeted today and some of Lucid Motors' competitors such as Tesla also went down a lot in value. And finally, I'm going to give my verdict to see if this acquisition is still worth buying in terms of the share price. We have a lot to get through today, so just quickly two topics. Firstly, again, it's going without saying, I am not a financial advisor, so you need to do your own due diligence before investing your hard-earned money. And second of all, as always, if you're new around here, it'd be much appreciated if you consider subscribing to the channel, as we're just after hitting the 900 subscriber mark, and our next goal is to get to the big 1000. And with all that being said, let's dive right into today's video. So as I'm sure you're already aware, CCIV or Churchill Capital is a SPAC that acquires other companies, and we can see on screen here that it acquires other companies that their board has experience or expertise in. Again, just like CCIV, I'm fairly sure if you're watching this video, you already know what Lucid Motors are all about. But in summary, they're a luxurious electric vehicle company and they're one of Tesla's main competitors. And today, I don't really want to go into what the company actually does. I want to discuss further the acquisition and the catalyst going forward. So firstly, the markets have been going down a lot over the last few days. My overall diversified, and again I emphasize the word diversified, is even down over 2% over the last few days, which is a lot considering that they're all blue chip companies, and again, they're all diversified across different sectors. So even, for example, one of Lucid Motors' competitors, Tesla, is down about 15 or 16% at the moment, which is insane. Again, that doesn't bother me too much as a long-term investor because it actually just makes me want to buy more to improve my dollar cost average. So I just kind of want to discuss that briefly today, first of all, because we'll see later on that even though CCIV acquired Lucid Motors, the market or the stock actually tanked, which we'll discuss later on again. So I believe the whole reason for that isn't just because of the acquisition, it's mainly got to do with the overall performance of the market. We can see on screen, and again, I probably shouldn't call it an acquisition as such, it's more of a merger, but we can see here that Lucid Motors confirmed a SPAC merger with Churchill Capital. If we scroll down further in that article, it kind of gives a good synopsis or summary of what actually happened. So the electric vehicle company Lucid Motors is gone public in a SPAC merger with Churchill Capital. Surprisingly, again we'll talk about this later, that the price is after going down 32.27%, which is insane when you actually think about the overall logistics of the merger. And the deal was rumoured since January. The deal will value Lucid Motors at a transaction equity value of $11.75 billion based on a $10 share offering price, and Churchill Capital or CCIV is contributing an existing $2.1 billion to this deal. Why this drop in price, especially over 30% today once the merger was announced, why it's so surprising is because, for example, CCIV have pumped an additional $4 billion into the electric vehicle company to help roll out this new car or the electric vehicle. So as you can imagine, for $4 billion to get pumped into a company and for it to go down 30% is crazy. Again, on this article, just to reiterate what actually happened today. So over the last few months, Lucid had been rumoured in discussions with CCIV on a special purpose company created to make a reverse merger SPAC deal, and today it was confirmed, which will bring, as we can see on screen, $4.4 billion in cash to Lucid at $24 billion valuation. So in terms of a synopsis or summary of the deal, firstly, as I mentioned at the start of this video, Lucid Motors' main mission is to provide luxurious electric vehicle transportation. This merger will also help bring the luxurious 500-mile Lucid Air to the market, again through all of the capital that has generated from this merger. We've already discussed the equity value of $11.75 billion from this merger, and again, it's not meant to mention as well the billions that have came through cash as well from CCIV through this merger. Finally, three more important points. We can see here this is the largest ever SPAC in relation to the PIPE, and also they're going to continue to have the same CEO as we can see on screen here, Peter Rawlinson. And finally, they already have 2,000 employees. And through this merger, they're also going to have a further additional 3,000 employees come on board by the end of 2022. Forbes also came out with a very interesting article of why you should probably, or even 3 reasons why you should still buy CCIV, even though it has plunged about 38 to 40%. Well, firstly, my own opinion is that if any stock once you do your own due diligence, if it dropped that much, it's always worth considering buying more if you're already an investor to improve your dollar cost average. But Forbes, you can see on screen here that it says they have a large market opportunity, they have a rapid revenue growth, and thirdly, they have a compelling customer value proposition. So there are three very valid points. Motley Fool has also a very good article on why they believe, or why they think, that the stock has dived about 38 to 40%. Now, as you know, the stock skyrocketed over the last few weeks. Again, we look at a stock chart in a few minutes, but we can see also on that it went up very fast and it went up to about $60 a share. And we can even see on screen how they made a valid point. They were saying here that the valuation was about an incredible 91 billion before they even sold a single car. Now, obviously, because of the hype over the last few weeks, the stock price started driving up in value, but it doesn't really reflect the overall valuation of the company. Again, although it has crazy numbers in terms of in the billions from this merger, however, having a 91 billion valuation before selling a single car certainly doesn't really warrant the current prices that it was at. So definitely a market correction certainly had to take place, and it doesn't really help either in terms of this merger that the overall market or the overall stock market kind of had a bit of a crash today as well. So both of those factors certainly had a big price or a big factor to pay in the overall share price. So CCIV is currently trading at about $39.49 or $39.40. It is currently down 31.18% today alone, or $17.88. We can see on the 5-day chart that 5 days ago was sitting at about $52.80, and it went even up to as far as the $64, nearly $65 mark before taking a massive plunge. So it went from about $57 straight down to about $33, which nearly halved in value, which is absolutely insane considering the numbers that were behind this merger. However, again, I discussed just before this chart, the two main factors again was the overall stock market going in a downtrend, and also having over 90 billion valuation before they even sold a single car certainly would kind of make a lot of people panic sell as well. But we can see since it dropped to $31, it's kind of starting to recover in a small way, and it's nearly back to the $40 mark again. Now, I've been following this company not as long as a lot of people, but I have been over the last week or so, and I did want to buy into the company, but however, we can see that the share price kind of went up and up, even up to the $65 mark, and even having such billions behind it in terms of this merger between CCIV and Lucid Motors, I still couldn't find sense in terms of buying at those prices. Now, well and good if I got in on the 20s or even $15 mark, like a lot of people did, if you're used to on that, but I didn't, unfortunately. So I believe I missed the boat when it got up to the $60 mark. However, now that it has crashed, again, as I said in earlier videos, that I will be putting more money into the market on Thursday. So I'm going to see what way this CCIV is kind of performing on Thursday. And if it's kind of still hovering around the $30-ish mark, I might even consider buying a few shares. So that's pretty much it for today's video, guys. I just want to give my 2 cents in the merger between CCIV and Lucid Motors. We had a very brief look at what each of these companies actually do. We had a look at some very interesting news articles around this whole merger and some catalysts that will affect the share price going forward. And we also briefly discussed how their share price plummeted so much, even though they had such good backings in terms of valuations. If you found this video anyway helpful or interesting, it'd be much appreciated, as always, if you're new around here, to consider subscribing to the channel. And also, it'd be very helpful to the channel if you consider liking the video. And most importantly, if you have any questions, comments, queries, or suggestions, please don't hesitate to comment below, and I'll be sure to get back to you as quick as I can. Thanks very much, guys. Have a good Tuesday evening, and I will see you all in tomorrow's video.